Picture this. You're offered the lead role in one of the biggest superhero franchises of all time, guaranteed to make you a household name and earn you tens of millions of dollars. Most actors would kill for this opportunity. But what if I told you that one actor turned it down because he was terrified of becoming too famous? That actor was Cillian Murphy, and his story completely challenges everything we think we know about Hollywood ambition. Today, we're diving into the fascinating paradox of an actor who actively ran away from fame, yet somehow became one of the most compelling performers of our generation. This isn't just another celebrity story. It's a masterclass in staying true to yourself in an industry that rewards selling your soul. Cillian Murphy's relationship with fame began long before he ever stepped foot on a movie set. Growing up in Cork, Ireland, he wasn't dreaming of red carpets and paparazzi flashbulbs. Instead, he was a quiet kid who found his passion in music, playing guitar and keyboards in a band called the Sons of Mr. Green Jeans. They were actually pretty good enough to get offered a record deal. But here's where Murphy's pattern of rejecting obvious success first emerged. He turned down the record deal because he wanted to focus on his education. This decision gives us our first glimpse into Murphy's character. Even as a teenager, he wasn't driven by the promise of fame or money. He was someone who valued substance over spectacle, depth over surface appeal. These values would later define his entire approach to acting and celebrity. Murphy stumbled into acting almost by accident during his university years. He was studying law, following a traditional path that his family expected, when he saw a production that changed everything. The energy of live theater captured something in him that academic study couldn't satisfy. But even then, his entry into acting wasn't driven by dreams of stardom. It was driven by a genuine love for the craft itself. His early theater work in Ireland was raw and powerful. Murphy threw himself into experimental productions, working with small theater companies that prioritized artistic integrity over commercial success. He was building his skills in an environment where the work mattered more than the recognition, where audiences came to be challenged rather than entertained by familiar faces. When Murphy made the transition to film, he continued to choose projects based on their artistic merit, rather than their potential to launch him into the stratosphere of A-list celebrity. His breakout role came in the post-apocalyptic thriller 28 Days Later, where his haunting performance as a man, waking up to a world overrun by rage-infected humans, showcased his ability to convey complex emotions with minimal dialogue. But here's where Murphy's story takes its most interesting turn. After 28 Days Later proved he could carry a major film, Hollywood came calling with offers that would have transformed him from a respected character actor into a global superstar. The most significant of these was the opportunity to play Batman in Christopher Nolan's reboot of the franchise. Think about what this meant. The Batman role had previously been played by major stars, like Michael Keaton and Val Kilmer. It was a guaranteed ticket to A-list status, merchandise deals, and the kind of recognition that opens every door in Hollywood. For most actors, this would be the ultimate dream role. Murphy screen tested for Batman and, by all accounts, gave a compelling audition. But when it came time to make the final decision, something interesting happened. While Christian Bale ultimately got the role, Murphy's response to the near miss revealed everything about his priorities. He wasn't devastated by losing out on what could have been a career-defining opportunity. Instead, he was relieved. In interviews, Murphy has been remarkably honest about his discomfort with the level of fame that comes with superhero roles. He's spoken about how the constant scrutiny, the loss of privacy, and the way celebrity status can overshadow the work itself made him genuinely anxious about pursuing that path. This anxiety wasn't just theoretical. Murphy had witnessed firsthand how fame could consume actors, turning them into brands rather than artists. He saw how the pressure of maintaining a public image could interfere with the vulnerability required for great performances. For someone who valued authenticity above all else, this trade-off felt fundamentally wrong. Instead of chasing the Batman opportunity, Murphy made a choice that perfectly encapsulates his approach to his career. He decided to work with Christopher Nolan anyway, but in a different capacity. He took on the role of Dr. Jonathan Crane, also known as Scarecrow in Batman Begins. This role allowed him to work with one of cinema's most innovative directors while maintaining the artistic challenge and character complexity he craved, without the overwhelming spotlight that comes with being the lead. The Scarecrow role was brilliant for Murphy because it played to his strengths as an actor while keeping him slightly in the shadows. His ability to convey menace and psychological complexity made Dr. Crane genuinely unsettling. But the character's limited screen time meant Murphy could deliver a memorable performance without becoming the face of the franchise. This pattern continued throughout Murphy's career. He consistently chose roles that challenged him artistically while allowing him to maintain his privacy and focus on the craft rather than the celebrity game. His work in films like The Wind That Shakes the Barley and Sunshine demonstrated his range and commitment to meaningful storytelling, even when these projects didn't offer the same financial rewards or recognition as blockbuster franchises. Murphy's collaboration with Christopher Nolan extended beyond Batman, leading to roles in Inception and Dunkirk. In each case, he brought incredible depth to supporting roles, proving that you don't need to be the star to steal every scene you're in. His performance in Inception as Robert Fisher Jr. was a masterclass in portraying psychological vulnerability, while his wordless performance as a shell-shocked soldier in Dunkirk showed how much he could communicate through pure physical acting. But perhaps Murphy's most significant role, the one that finally brought him the recognition he deserved while still honoring his values, came with Peaky Blinders. As Tommy Shelby, the enigmatic leader of a Birmingham crime family, Murphy found the perfect vehicle for his talents. The role demanded the kind of complex, morally ambiguous character work that Murphy excelled at, while the television format allowed for deep character development over multiple seasons. What's fascinating about Murphy's approach to Peaky Blinders is how he managed to become genuinely famous while still maintaining his privacy and artistic integrity. Tommy Shelby became a cultural phenomenon, but Murphy himself remained somewhat mysterious. He gave thoughtful interviews about the craft of acting and the historical context of the show, but he never became a tabloid fixture or social media personality. The success of Peaky Blinders proved that Murphy's instincts about fame versus artistic fulfillment were correct. By choosing substance over spectacle throughout his career, he had built up the skills and reputation necessary to carry a complex, prestigious project. His years of careful role selection and dedication to craft had prepared him for this moment in a way that chasing easy fame never could have. Murphy's recent Oscar win for Oppenheimer represents the culmination of his unique approach to celebrity. Playing J. Robert Oppenheimer required exactly the kind of intellectual depth and emotional complexity that Murphy had been developing throughout his career. It was a role that demanded an actor who could disappear into a character completely, someone who understood that the story was more important than the star. Throughout the Oppenheimer press tour, Murphy remained true to his values. He gave insightful interviews about the historical significance of the atomic bomb and the psychological complexity of his character, but he never let the attention shift to his personal life or celebrity status. Even while winning Hollywood's highest honor, he managed to keep the focus on the work rather than himself. What makes Cillian Murphy's story so compelling isn't just that he turned down fame, it's that he created his own definition of success. In an industry that often equates visibility with value, Murphy proved that there's another path. By prioritizing artistic integrity over commercial success, by choosing complex characters over easy paychecks, and by maintaining his privacy while still engaging meaningfully with his audience, he's created a career that many actors would envy. Murphy's approach offers a valuable lesson for anyone struggling with the pressure to pursue recognition over fulfillment. His story shows that success doesn't have to mean sacrificing your values or losing yourself in the process. Sometimes the most powerful choice you can make is to say no to what everyone else thinks you should want. In a world where social media metrics often matter more than actual talent, where celebrity status can overshadow artistic achievement, Cillian Murphy stands as proof that there's still room for mystery, depth, and authenticity. He didn't want to be famous, and that's exactly what made him unforgettable.